Hey guys, we got another developer blog today talking about a bunch of interesting ideas and statistics from the network test, in addition to information on aim assist for controllers and when the network test will be coming for the console version of the game. Yeah, so jumping right into it. They start off with the game's overall ratings, and here we have in the pink, we have very good, good, average, bad, and very bad. So from the results of the survey, very positive results overall. That's great. And for each of the sections here, we have units control. Also very solid when you have 80% of people thinking that they liked it. That's very good. Well, even further up with the average being average, but very good and good, 80%. That's solid. That's great for sure. Game rules, graphics, still very solid overall, with not a lot of people who actually just really didn't like it. So that's really, really promising to see. For sounds and clarity of UI, same thing. So we're looking at really solid results overall, even for things that I was concerned about when I first started watching the game overall. And to be honest, I felt really similar to these. I was actually really impressed with a lot of the stuff that came out from the game, with the graphics, with the sounds, UI, all that stuff. So yeah, no really complaints there. Here's some general statements that they picked out. Don't really mean that much, but I'm sure they heard them a lot. They like the battles, typical complaints about harassment and losing ranking for people disconnecting, stuff like that. Pretty similar. But here we have, I like aim assist when using a gamepad on PC. And that's talked about right down here, where it says, we received several requests for the implementation of aim assist when using a gamepad, but they have decided that it is not going to be used on the PC. It will be restricted to console, which means console will be getting aim assist, which is expected, but good. And that brings up some questions for what they'll do if they ever choose to do cross-platform, which I would expect them to do at some point because of the nature of the game. But yeah, so they're changing the way the rating system works for the competitive game. That's to be expected. Of course, they're going to make some changes. Nothing really crazy about here. But I really do like them saying here that they are going to disclose more information about things. It's really good for a company to be open and just make sure everyone knows things. So, moving on. Individual characters. I'm not going to go too into depth on each character, but what you'll see is that most of them had really, really solid numbers just around. Very consistent. Tail Rider was like one of the most popular characters in the game, so people really liked it, with only like, such a small number saying they just really didn't like it. With average being people probably who don't really like playing that type of character, but still thought it was solid. Gundam's pretty similar. It didn't seem to be enjoyed as much, even though I personally liked it a lot. I thought it was really well designed. I really like it. Zaku popular, and here we have Barbatos. Obviously, there's some complaints about the character. These are the people that really liked it and probably were the ones playing it, and these are the ones that didn't play it, or the ones that were the ones getting hit around by it. So I wouldn't look at Barbatos' number too much because they already have done an adjustment, like I posted in my other news video that I just made. So, Sazu really popular. Metis looking like it needs some work, but a lot of people just didn't play it actually. So that's to be expected though, because it is a more niche character with support. But still, we're just looking at low numbers of people that really didn't like the characters, and that's really what we're looking for the most, because you don't want people feeling like the character is unenjoyable or unenjoyable to play against, and that's what these very bad and bad numbers are. Turning Gundam here gets some negatives, or like I said, Ashimar is solid. Not a lot of people played it. For some reason, it's just not popular. I guess it's not a very popular mobile suit, but I thought it was really fun overall, so I don't know, maybe people grow on it. People like Dom Trooper a lot, like a lot. I guess there's a high average there, but Turning Gundam has some complaints. Very bad and bad are rather high. So they need to look at Turning Gundam, and they are. It was one of the characters that didn't really feel that good for a lot of people. I liked it, but people didn't like it. For Gun Tank, even though Gun Tank is terrible, and I'm sorry guys, it's really bad, it didn't feel bad. It really did not feel bad. It was still fun to play. It felt like it had impact, even though it's really not that good. So it's still enjoyable, which is really good to have that kind of thing too. Just that people don't feel like it's just boring and terrible anyway. GM's numbers are kind of low, even though I thought that character was amazing. It's so much fun. But people are probably complaining about things like the grenade and the C4 being really inconsistent, not traveling far, not like being enjoyable to use. Interesting to see Exia's numbers this low. So I wonder if they'll want to change Exia a bit. I mean, that people might be complaining about the stuns on it. Really, it's probably people complaining about the stuns about it and playing against it. It wasn't as bad as Barbatos, but it still was kind of bad in its own way. So they'll probably fix that stuff up. And if they follow my ideas of not letting characters stun through shields, but not letting shield characters shoot through their shields, then they will they'll fix a lot of this stuff. Marseille was just bad. Really bad. And a lot of people felt that. So, typical complaints about the game. Nothing crazy here. The game modes were typically enjoyed pretty well. I think when you have 67% of people saying they like them, overall, that's good. And not a lot of people saying they really didn't like them. The one that got the most complaints is Destruction, and that's because it's the worst designed one. I don't like point capture very much. It's a pain. I don't like 2CP maps, but Destruction is fun to me, but it has issues with the way that the objectives work, and they really need to adjust it, because after you plant, it's super, super easy to stop them from defusing. Looks like they are trying to develop a custom game mode. People have been asking for that, so we'll see about that. And they're talking about developing, just adding more information, which is something I'm sure they'll do, but I'm pretty sure they're going to try and add custom games at some point. Definitely will. Same thing with unit skins, weapon skins. We want to see this number be high. The higher number of this is the really popular, and then the orange here, the more people want to put money into it, which means the more money Bandai will get and the more popular the game will be. It's basically how that works. The more money it gets, the more they'll support it. So we want to see this number high. Weapon skins, unit skins, pretty popular. Stamps, you're seeing a lot of negativity. I personally don't like them at all. I never use them. I don't care about them. But it doesn't make my game any worse, so I don't care. Icons, liked them. They were solid. But we're seeing solid numbers on the icons, so that's good. Stamps maybe need some work, but they're kind of niche anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. Same thing with ornaments. It's just like, on these things where people can choose not to use them, I don't really think it matters that much. Like, the ones that really people are going to be paying money for are the unit skins, the weapon skins. So, MVP was popular. People can pay money for that too. They didn't talk about the voices here, probably because they are going to do more with it. I would really hope they do. I hope they add like official voice actors from the anime series stuff in. So yeah. People are asking for items related to the original series. I know they're going to add the for sure. And they're pumping them out here. That's to be expected. So, for popularity of characters, we have Pale Rider, Sazabi, Barbatos, Zaku, and then Gundam. These are all powerful characters, and the fun ones, really. Metis is actually surprisingly high, but I guess it's because one of the few support characters that felt probably consistent to people, or that they felt they could play well with. I kind of expect GM Sniper to be higher. Gun Tank's also surprisingly high, but I think it has a lot of like meme enjoyment for people. Stormtroopers, I guess it's understandably low. A lot of people felt like they couldn't get value on it, even if it's strong. Exia is surprisingly low. But it's probably just because it was difficult to use, and if you're going to use it, you might as well just go play Barbatos. GM is very surprisingly low, other than the fact that it felt clunky with its throwing abilities. It was extremely powerful and extremely good and a must pick in the regular game. Putting Gundam and Mars, I do make sense though. For top 100, you see the numbers change. Sosby, Barbatos, Gundam, all on the top. Co-Rider 2. XCM moves up into the top. That'll make sense. GM Sniper gets pushed up. So people were playing XCM instead of Zaku, basically. Stormtrooper gets a little bit higher. Metis is lower, probably because the people who are playing the top 100 were just fragging, carrying their games rather than trying to support somebody else. Ashura not too hot. GM a little bit better, but it's such a powerful character. And we have Gun Tank really low, right in front of Marseille and Turning Gundam, which is to be expected because it was not very good. Top 10 player stuff, whatever. It doesn't really tell that much about the game. And here's an interesting thing about this game. It shows the average rate. So you can now know about what your average rating was. I finished at 2470. Duoing for like my last 4 hours, so I'm from here to here. And yeah, so here we have the distributions. Looks like about probably like 1970 is the I guess that's 1980 or so is the very median number. So, or mode or whatever. And here to the point that I was going to talk about. The next test will be for game consoles in the United States, Canada, and Japan regions. So unfortunately, other regions are not getting it. It specifically says more details will be available in late May. So it looks like we're getting information on it in about 3 weeks. This tells me also that they're dodging the Overwatch 2 beta. The Overwatch 2 beta goes until like May 17th or something. So once the hype from that is down, I'm pretty sure that's why they've scheduled this out. That's a good sign. It tells me that they're being intelligent about things. And that they are understanding the situation of their game, and that it doesn't want to compete with Overwatch 2, even though it has its own little brand. So, yeah. Make sure to check out my other news video right here to talk about the other developer update that just dropped. Thanks, guys.